Now moving on to the other story that we're tracking back home, that is an order that was observed yesterday by Madras High Court on the Sharia courts that are operating from mosques in Tamil Nadu. Madras High Court in its observation has said all unauthorized Sharia courts in mosques across Tamil Nadu must be banned, saying that centers of worship were only to be used for religious purposes. The first bench of the court, comprising Chief Justice Sanjay Kishan Kaul and Justice M. Sundar, directed the state government to ensure that unofficial courts were banned. It was asked to file a report in this regard within 4 weeks. Some reaction coming in. Going across right now to my colleague Akshay now, who's joining us on the story. So Akshay, what are we looking at today? It will be a tough test of OPS as well to carry out the court order, because according to that, the Sharia courts which are there in mosques have to be now demolished. There has to be a strict check that no Sharia courts are operating out of mosques in Tamil Nadu.
Well, Davina, it was seen that the petition was moved by a general citizen. It was a PIL that was filed by a man called Abdul Rahman. And what he has stated is that these Sharia courts are responsible for many families being shattered. And what he said is that the judgment made by these Sharia courts are being strictly followed by innocent citizens. And that is creating a lot of trouble and family violence. And the court has rightly observed that not only Sharia courts, but also no temples or churches are supposed to have any of these kind of institutions within their premises, because temples, churches and mosques are only meant for religious purposes of praying and for no other reason. And there are proper judicial courts in the country where you can go on for family matters or any other dispute in the question. So that is one thing that the court has observed. And yes, it is a very tough question for O. Selvam and his team here, because the government is newly formed after Chief Minister Jaitley's demise. These kind of statements from the court is something very important, because this is what will decide how this government is being run. And yes, it is a very sensitive issue because it involves religion, and it is already seen that many of the Muslim organizations are completely against this decision taken by the Madras High Court, and now it is being also stated that they might go for a further appeal, and of the 4-week time period which is being given for the observation to be made, it will only certain out how things will pan out in the near future. And yes, it has to be wait and see how O. Selvam's government will react to this, Davina.
Akshay, thanks for joining us.